people in this studio are preparing for a live debate. They're going to talk about their lives. Specifically, they're going to discuss ways in which a council and its local people might communicate with each other more effectively. Everyone you can see lives in the same area, the borough of Bromley. And this TV show is one of the many ways that the discussion can take place. It's all part of a new council idea. The Bromley Services Forum brings together opinion from all parts of the community and makes recommendations as to how they might develop new ideas for the future. The forum will concentrate on Bromley communications, how they talk to each other and how they listen. The council has always worked hard to listen to its residents, but it's determined to find ways of helping the whole community be more effective in the way it communicates with itself. It's London's biggest borough, with a broad mix of people and types of area. It has its share of famous sites and heritage, and responsibility for the working life as well as the leisure of its inhabitants. The community has lots of services on offer. Leisure, planning, health. Lots of concerns as well. Jobs, traffic, poverty, and lots of very good opportunities. Grants, lottery bids, local radio. Talking effectively to each other is vital if we're to improve the quality of our lives. There are the skills and new technologies available in Bromley to bring about swift changes in our communication systems. So while these people prepare for their television debate, this short video aims to find out why you, the Bromley resident, need good communication in the borough, and we ask you to think about how we might develop new ways of talking and listening to each other. Meet Ziggy.
The other night, I left work dead chuffed because I'd just received a cash bonus from my boss. That evening, I didn't want to stay at home bored and felt like celebrating, so I decided to go uptown, London that is. I had actually promised my workmate Jenny we would go see a local band, but I felt like something a bit special tonight, even if that was a couple of drinks with my best friend in Covent Garden. After freezing my boots off for 3/4 of an hour, I gave up. I didn't know what else was going on, if anything, in Bromley, so I decided to go back to Plan A, the local band at the studio in Beckenham. Although I did have a bit of extra cash, there was no way I was going to hand it to a minicab, so it meant waiting for a bus to Catford and change on to whatever was going to Beckenham from there. I'm sure there was a quicker way, but there was no one around to ask. It took forever, but I finally made it with an hour and a half to enjoy myself before starting on the long trod back. Unless, of course, Jenny's new workmate fancies dropping me back. Now that would make a hassle worthwhile.
Ziggy's story had 2 points to make about communication. Will somebody tell me what is happening at the night spots? Will somebody help with up-to-the-minute travel information? So what could we plan now for the future to help people like Ziggy?
Well, Radio Bromley's all you need. Anyone out there wanting a great night out? Don't forget the new band night at the studio. Buses leave the Bromley Leisure Line point at the usual time.
2 years later, here's Ziggy checking on her 24-hour Bromley Community Information Service while tuned in to the Bromley commercial radio station. 2 possible solutions that could happen very quickly with the right planning and investment. But if you have different problems to Ziggy, then we need to know. Have you got other difficulties or ideas? That's what this communication forum is all about. You'll find out later how you can talk to us, but get thinking about what information you want now. It's time for another story. Meet Jack. Jack is a creature of habit, and like most elderly people, sticks to a routine. He normally shops on a Tuesday and then visits the library before heading for the pub for a chat with his mates. He changed his day to a Wednesday, and that's when his troubles began.
So I was just walking up the alleyway and, well, I didn't really know what was happening. Before I knew where I was surrounded by these two young lads. I mean, they couldn't have been looking where they were going. I mean, they knocked me over.
A simple accident that left Jack confused and in need of help.
Honestly, don't know where they got the
Help he had no idea how to access.
They should have been at school. Anyway, I picked up my stuff. I was on my way to the library.
To cap it all, the library is closed
So
on
not
Wednesdays.
best pleased. Not best pleased.
Did you phone anybody about it?
Phone anybody? Who could
Jack's
phone?
story is about communication too.
No, I mean, I
Where
wouldn't
does he
know
go
what
for
to. I mean,
help?
frankly, the idea didn't cross
If
my
his
head.
routine
I mean,
has
I'd
to
love it
change,
if there was
how can
someone
he
to
be
go
warned?
to, but really, I don't
These
think there
questions
is.
are asked all the time by the people of Bromley.
The answer to that question is you never know who directly to go to. And they will, in the main, push you around before you can eventually, unless you're really pushy, you will not get the answer you require.
So what might help that?
Well, I would think most people have a computer. I would think probably when they send out at the end of financial year, but ask if you would require a CD-ROM, and you can have a CD-ROM and all this information could be on your computer without you having to phone up the council. Or when you do phone the council, you know exactly what department to go to.
Well, if you need to get in touch with the council, you go to the information pages on the telephone book that they send out. But it gives you one main number, and then you've got to go on from there, and you've got to look at the different departments and guess which is the one which affects the particular problem that we got.
So there needs a central number at the council who you can give your complaint will be filtered through, not for you to go chasing around all over the place trying to even find what company is running the bus you want to complain
They
about.
would, because they have their own CD-ROM. They could get all the information they want. Oh, I know where to go to get that.
And the network as well. You
And
could
the
dial it
network,
up.
yes.
There are ways we could help people like Jack in the future. There are two possible ways in which Jack's problems might have been made easier. If any of this strikes a chord with you, or makes you think of things that might improve your life, we need to know. We'll let you know how you can tell us your problems and ideas at the end of the video. The next story is about Bromley business. Meet Mary.
My business is expanding. We provide a very competitive car and van rental service for the whole area. I need either to build on my existing premises or move everything to somewhere bigger. And that's when things get complicated. The plans were ready for the council to approve, and the meeting was set for 1:30 in their planning office. No, that was the one that I thought, that was very confusing. These are marvellous. Right, yep, those are great.
Traffic is the bane of all our lives, and one of the biggest single wastes of time and resources around today.
We were late and angry. Not the best way to start the sensitive negotiations about planning permission and a major investment for my business. There just has to be a better way. I'm really sorry that we're 10 minutes late. I'm sorry about that.
Traffic is bad this time of day.
I just wanted to draw your attention to this. This was the access there you were worried about. We've had this drawn up on an insert, which I think that shows that we can overcome that. We've doubled that in size, and it doesn't interfere at all with that drainage area. That was something else that was in contention.
That's true, yes,
But
it's further away now.
Yeah, but is that quite clear enough now to submit to you?
It looks a lot better than the first one, yeah.
Good. So is that going to happen fairly quickly, because we are quite anxious to push on?
The committee meets next week, and it's on
Right.
the agenda, so we'll push it through as soon as we can.
Right. Well, that would be perfect.
Yeah,
Smashing.
fine. Okay.
Mary is running a business that is going places. She always needs communications to improve. It affects her profits directly. New technology exists now to help these businesses in Bromley. It could look like this very soon. CAD-CAM technology will allow business plans to be sent by computer, and
I can
conferencing
send that bit
will
to you
become
now.
commonplace.
Have you got that? Good. Yes, it does make it makes it a lot clearer, doesn't it? and it's got all the alterations that you asked for us last time. So do you think there's a good possibility that they're going to pass it this time? Because I'm really quite anxious to get on with it. So next Tuesday, could you come on site next Tuesday with the final papers? Lovely. 11 o'clock okay, Mr. Saxby? Wonderful. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
As for the traffic, up-to-date in-car warning systems will help drivers avoid the jams. Mary's business and stress levels would welcome this kind of idea. We're sure that Bromley business people have many other ideas to improve communications. The Bromley Business Partnership is getting these ideas together. Have you got anything to add? And now our final story. Meet Jim.
Since I left my job, it's funny, but I feel busier now than when I was working. My wife has still got a good job, so if we're careful, we can still get by better than many. After dropping the kids off at school, I'm off studying to improve my prospects of getting work in the future. It's tough on top of everything else, but if it helps me change direction and get a new career going, it'll be worth it. But of course, there are always those selfish people in the community that think of nothing but themselves. Heavy metal band rehearsals are the last thing I need after a hard day. I've complained so many times before, but this time I've had enough. Of course, the council office was shut by now.
Jim, like many who work from home, has difficulties with old communication systems. Is there a way of getting new qualifications from a local school or college while staying at home for some of the time? Can we find a way for certain services to be available 24 hours a day? There are many things we can do together to help people like Jim. Exciting developments that are already being considered. If you need to spend a lot of time in the home, but want to get things changed, then start thinking about which ideas would suit you. 4 stories and their solutions showing how we might harness new technology to make our lives easier. Back in the studio, they're nearly ready for that TV debate. The future of our community lies in the way we talk to each other. This short video has mentioned just a few of the concerns and some of the possible ways forward. Now it's down to all of us to begin the talking and planning. With your help, we can make Bromley's communication system the talk of the town. All it takes is a bit of listening. We're ready. Are you?